Welcome to your January 2024 horoscopes. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be looking at January for all 12 signs. So you can watch this horoscope for your ascendant, sun, and moon sign. In terms of the differences, generally speaking, the ascendant sign would be the most overall accurate for you, and if you're looking at your sun sign horoscope, this will pertain to your life goals and your career. If you're watching for your moon sign, you can apply what you hear in this horoscope to your family life, your children, and your property and living circumstances. Without further ado, let's start off with Aries, sun, moon, and risings. So on the 1st of January, Mercury will station direct in Sagittarius in your 9th house at 22 degrees. So you may have been rethinking your education or travel plans. If you were due to travel during that period, there may have been significant changes to your flights, departure and arrival time, your itinerary in general. You may have had to put a vacation or a holiday on pause for one reason or another. And just by the way, the post-shadow Mercury retrograde period will be 2 weeks. So you may still be wrapping up things that have been occurring for you since, let's say, middle of December as you move into January. Some of you may have changed education courses or programs. You may have totally rethought whether or not you want to be attending college or university, or you may have gone back to college or university. On the whole, the 9th house is very much associated with your belief systems. So you may have been going through a bit of a deprogramming period when it comes to what you believe in. And this could be to do with politics, how the world works, or this could be to do with your belief system when it comes to spirituality and religion. Now, as I said at the beginning, on the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter the sign of Capricorn, and this is your ruling planet. So whenever Mars changes signs, whatever house it's transiting, this represents you and what you're doing. So it's going to be there until the 13th of February. And essentially the 10th house rules over your career and your status and your public image and reputation. So you may find that you're feeling super ambitious during this period of time. You may want to challenge the way that things are done in your workplace. So you may be making some assertive suggestions to your boss or whoever is in charge at your workplace. On a different note, you could be taking initiative or proactive steps in your career. And this doesn't mean that you have to work for someone else. Maybe you work by yourself. For yourself, or maybe you're trying to put things into motion so that you can take that step away from an organized workplace and basically go it alone. There may be a lot of duties and responsibilities when it comes to work that you have to move through at a rapid pace. And on a different note, the 10th house rules over your boss. So you may be having disagreements or arguments with your boss. You may feel like your boss is being critical of you or really pushing you, or that your position in the workplace is being criticized somehow. But Mars going through the 10th house can indicate that you have more courage when it comes to standing up for yourself. Now, for those of you who are not currently employed, whether you are retired just one moment. Sorry, I lost where I was up to. For those of you who are retired, or perhaps you're simply not working, this can indicate that you are trying to change your public image. So how other people perceive you. Maybe you're working on some kind of leadership position, or your personal responsibilities and duties. You may feel very challenged at the moment if you are a parent. Maybe you are having to step into the role of disciplinarian, or you're having to enforce certain rules and boundaries. This can indicate fighting or arguing with your father. On a different note, guys, please be careful with law enforcement. When Mars goes through the 10th house, especially in Capricorn, this can indicate that laws and rules are being strictly upheld. So just be careful on the roads and to cross your T's and dot your I's. Now, on the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees. So we're still focusing on that 10th house for you. 20 degrees is the Scorpio degree. And whenever there's a new moon or a full moon or an aspect taking place at the Scorpio degree, which is 20 degrees and also 8 degrees, there can be some sort of unexpected twist or turn or something shocking that takes place. So this new moon is making favorable aspects though. So it's making a trine to Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees, and it is conjunct Pluto. Okay, so Plutonian energy is also going to be in alignment with the Scorpio degree energy. So basically, for many of you Aries, you may be taking a risk or a gamble when it comes to your work or your workplace or your career. Something unexpected could be happening in your workplace. There may be restructurings that are announced or redundancies. Your company could be merging with another company. Maybe there's a shock announcement at your workplace, or perhaps some sort of I was going to say scandal because it is conjunct Pluto and square Chiron, but it's trining Uranus. So ultimately, whatever is coming through with this new moon, it's positive, fast-paced, rapid change. But with the square to Chiron in Aries in your first house, maybe there is some sort of sacrifice that you need to make, or there's something bittersweet about it, or perhaps you need to deliver news because Chiron's at 15 degrees, which is the Gemini degree. So maybe you have to communicate this change or deliver news to someone about what's going on in your career, or perhaps this is to do with your relationship status or just your public status that is difficult to communicate, or maybe it offends someone, or it's just like something positive that's occurring in your life, but it's not easy for you to talk about for one reason or another. Perhaps a new opportunity is coming through in work, but you may have to leave someone high and dry. You may be retiring unexpectedly or abruptly, or you may be coming out of retirement and re-entering the workforce. And even if it's not like work, it could just be that there's this opportunity for you to hold a high position of leadership or power, and it's disappointing someone in your life that you are no longer going to have as much time for them, or maybe this means you have to sacrifice other commitments. Some of you may be announcing that you are in a new relationship, or you could be announcing that you're getting engaged or married. Maybe you've eloped, or you're eloping around this time, or maybe you're going through a breakup. Whatever it is, I do see this new moon being really, really positive, but it's just difficult for you to convey this to someone, or there's a part of this, the elements of this new moon or the dynamics of the new moon, which you're not super comfortable communicating about to one person or another. Now, on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius. So Pluto spent 11 weeks in Aquarius from the 23rd of March in 2023 through till the 11th of June. Pluto will be in Aquarius for most of 2023, but there will be a period or a point where Pluto goes back into Capricorn, which is sometime in September through till the 1st of November. I'm going to add the exact dates for 2024 in the description box below. So nevertheless, this is a new 21-year cycle that is beginning. So what I'm about to discuss and reference is going to take place over the course of the next couple of decades. But you may have already seen a glimpse of this occurring in your life, especially around the time of March, April, May, and June. or perhaps the seeds were planted then and there. So with Pluto re-entering Aquarius in your 11th house, this is affecting your community, your network, your wider network, that is, your friends, your long-term goals and dreams, as well as people that you collaborate with, and passive income. Those are just a few buzzwords for the 11th house, but really I would say that the biggest changes that are coming through are with your community, your wider network, and your friends. So Pluto going through your 11th house is going to see you removing toxic friendships and stepping away from toxic associations with communities or networks that are not in alignment with your long-term goals and dreams. Okay, so you could be noticing that maybe there are certain friends who are jealous of you, or who are maybe there for the bad times, but they're not celebrating your success. And for others of you, you could be noticing that you're having this transformative impact on your community or your wider network or your friendship group. Or you could join a friendship group or a community which completely transforms your life. And maybe this is extremely healing for you, especially because Pluto rules over your 8th house. And you could be connecting with like-minded individuals who are interested in Plutonian topics like healing, esoteric and occult matters, psychology, maybe it's something to do with astrology as well. And these people could be sharing their mutual resources with you. So it could be perhaps an online community where you're sharing resources and helping each other out. For others of you, this could indicate that there's an opportunity for huge financial investors to back some sort of long-term project of yours. And you may be wiping the slate clean with your existing collaborative team. So you may be like, I'm not happy with this network of collaborators, and I want to start completely afresh. So it could be like a do-over in that respect. This can indicate that you are finding out or discovering ways to generate huge forms of passive income. And just remember that Pluto rules over fears and insecurities. So with Pluto going through your 11th house, it's dredging up these fears, it's dredging up these insecurities. So this could be insecurities related to not having enough money for the long term, never being able to achieve your long-term goals or dreams, insecurities when it comes to developing friends or feeling like your friends don't like you. Maybe like you think that there are certain people who are gossiping about you or working against you. Just remember that Pluto is going to reveal truths to you. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn. So it's going to be joining Mars here in your 10th house. So your relationship with your co-workers can improve, or with your boss. You can now be seen as more of a team player. Your reputation could be seen in a favorable light or recognized in a favorable light. Certain relationship statuses may be made public. And obviously this is tying in what I had said about the new moon. You may be experiencing a workplace romance, especially because Venus rules over your 7th house. In any case, having Mars and Venus in your 10th house, and this coming off the back of a new moon in your 10th house, indicates that there is this huge potential for taking on new positions of leadership, transforming your public image or your public reputation, getting recognized, getting recognition. If you're going to gatherings or outings or events, people are going to notice you. Mars is your ruling planet. It's in the 10th house. Venus rules over your 7th house, which represents your other relationships, and Venus is a relationship planet. So there's definitely a lot of eyes on you from the beginning of January through till about the 2nd week of February. Now, lastly, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo. at 5 degrees, which is the Leo degree, and it's occurring in your 5th house. This full moon is intense, guys. It's opposite Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, and it's making a T-square with Jupiter in Taurus at 6 degrees. So the 5th house rules over your love life, your sex life. It rules over your creative gifts, your hobbies, your passions, as well as your business if you own your own business. And it also rules over children. So for those of you who have children, with this square to Jupiter and this opposition to Pluto, you may be finding something out about them that just makes you, has you feeling quite shocked or quite surprised. With the opposition to Pluto, you could discover a secret that they've been hiding. And Jupiter is all about truth. And basically, no matter what's occurring around the 25th of January, plus or minus a couple of weeks, this energy is here to push you to grow and expand and transform in an area where you've been displaying a lot of pride, which is Leo, or having a lot of ego, which again is the shadow side of Leo. I do think, I do think that this full moon is all about exposing where we have too much pride or too much ego, and we're really being pushed to recognize other people's ability to transform and go through a healing journey. And maybe, with this push and pull with Pluto and Jupiter, you could be feeling quite tested. Now, that could be with your relationship with your children, and that could be your relationship with your partner if you're dating. For others of you, you could be launching something creative in nature or giving a performance of sorts, because the 5th house rules over creativity and performance. This could be to do with your own business. So maybe you are putting out content which other people find to be scandalous, potentially, with the opposition to Pluto, or it could be deeply and powerfully moving and transformative. The square to Jupiter and Taurus at 6 degrees indicates that people may not agree and they may contest the information that you are putting out there. They may indicate that they have very different value systems to your belief systems, but it's all about basically speaking your truth and unveiling your creative gifts and talents and pursuing your hobbies and passions with reckless abandon despite potential judgment or criticism from other people. Okay, so it's a very, very powerful full moon, like I said. And I do think that with the square to Jupiter and Taurus, that it will yield positive results, but these may come packaged in, let's say, the universe's packaging, which is a little bit unexpected or not what you would have wanted. So now let's move on to onto Taurus. Okay, so this is for Taurus sun, moon, and risings. I myself am a Taurus sun, and I just love doing the Taurus horoscopes because, bias. On the 1st of January, Mercury will station direct in Sagittarius in your 8th house at 22 degrees. So the 8th house is all about our fears, insecurities, intimacy, vulnerability, shared mutual resources. It's associated with healing, if I haven't already said that, and it is connected to anything occult and esoteric in nature. So Mercury retrograde in your 8th house could have been indicative of a switching up of your mutual resources. So you could have been helping someone out with your personal finances, given that Mercury rules over your 2nd house. You could have experienced deeper intimacy with your significant other. You may have had a breakthrough with your significant other or with your relationship with your children or one of your children, especially because Mercury rules over your fifth house. So you may have found out certain secrets or things that you felt just were not, maybe they were hidden from you, or you just weren't able to access this information. So Mercury going direct in your eighth house indicates that this Mercury retrograde period has seen you digging beneath the surface. And even if this doesn't involve other people, this could be related to your own personal insecurities. And there may have been some changes to shared investments, child custody arrangements, alimony money, and so on and so forth. And now let's have a look at Mars entering Capricorn. So this will be on the 4th of January through till the 13th of February. Mars will be transiting your ninth house, and the ninth house rules over travel and foreign affairs, your belief systems, coaches, counselors, mentors, teachers, education, as well as the law, import, export, and publishing. So these are just some buzzwords for what you could be doggedly pursuing or focusing on during this next month and a bit. And this is going to dovetail nicely into the new moon in Capricorn, which is occurring on the 11th of January in your ninth house. It's conjunct Pluto. It's trine Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees. And Saturn will be sextiling Mars in Capricorn, as well as Jupiter and Taurus in your fifth house. So this new moon in your ninth house can indicate that one of those aforementioned topics is going to receive a fresh start, or you're planting the seeds to bring some of this into fruition. So for example, you may be making travel plans, booking a ticket, developing an itinerary. You could be applying for a visa, permanent residency, or what's the other one? Citizenship. On a different note, you could be starting some kind of spiritual or religious pilgrimage. Given that this new moon is at 20 degrees, which is the Scorpio degree, I see this being something which is quite unexpected or shocking. Maybe it is even somewhat taboo in nature. Perhaps you are developing a keen interest in studying something that is esoteric in nature, or which goes against the grain of traditionally held beliefs, or the traditional way of doing things or system. And I say that because of the fact that the new moon is in the sign of Capricorn, which rules over tradition. So for others of you, you could be enrolling in a college or university program, or you could be preparing to change like subjects, universities, maybe your thesis topic, or teachers. And for others of you, you could be looking at taking on the role of being a teacher or a coach, or maybe some of you are going to start counseling sessions. On a different note, you could be preparing to bring legal proceedings against another person, or enter into something, let me start that again, or start legal proceedings just in general, because this is occurring in the ninth house. This may be the beginning of court cases for some of you Taurians. Just remember that this new moon has really positive aspects here. So with the trine to Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees and this positive aspect between sextile and Jupiter in Taurus, I see this as something that is probably being initiated by you, or something that's going to benefit you. It is making a square to Chiron in Aries in your 12th house. So I interpret this as there being a little bit of hesitation on your part, or some fears and insecurities coming up with taking this next step. Now, on the 20th of oh my God, on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius. So it's going into your 10th house. And we did see a glimpse of Pluto being in Aquarius back, earlier this year between the 23rd of March and the 11th of June. So that was just like 11-ish weeks. So basically, the 10th house rules over your career, your public status in general, positions of leadership, and with Pluto ruling over your 7th house, there could be some really significant changes that are coming through to your relationship status, marital status, or the status of your business partnerships or collaborations. So you could be making some huge waves in your career and moving in a direction which is potentially taboo because it's Scorpio or scandalous, or it's something to do with the occult or something esoteric, or maybe this is to do with delving into a career in psychology or something to do with crime or finance, so working with other people's finances or resources, maybe the mining industry. On a personal level, this can indicate that you are really transforming your public image. So how people perceive you, whether this is like your work experience, the industry that you work in, how you're known, how you're sort of spoken about by people who want to work with you or people who are aware of you. This is represented by your 10th house or your midheaven. So for example, with you YouTubers who are watching, you'll be experiencing me as my midheaven sign, which is Aries, incidentally. Nevertheless, for some of you, you could be reclaiming your power when it comes to career. So perhaps you felt like you had to pursue a certain path, or that you had to stay in a certain industry or workplace because maybe this is what your parents wanted for you, or maybe this was a reflection of what you happened to study at university, or it was just the path that you took and you were maybe feeling like, you can't go in a different direction from that. It's like, this is the path I've carved out for myself. This was the track that I was on and I can't change. But no, Pluto going through your 10th house is like asking you to change. It's asking you to reclaim your power when it comes to what you're pursuing, what you're putting out there, how you are showing up in the public and also in the public eye, and also your relationship status may be something that has undergone big changes, and this could be reshaping your identity or how others view you. So for example, this could indicate that you are entering into an exclusive relationship, or maybe you're getting engaged or married, or you're maybe getting separated or divorced. And so Pluto going through your 10th house is reshaping that part of public perception of you. In any case, it can indicate this potential for a huge rise to a position of leadership. Okay, so anyone who has exerted an inordinate amount of power or control over you, because the 10th house rules over authority figures, Pluto going through your 10th house is going to see Taurians saying, I don't answer to you. I'm my own boss. Why am I letting this person have so much control over me? Or why am I letting them emotionally manipulate or influence me? So you're really going to be going through your fears and insecurities in that department and then reclaiming your personal power. Now, on the 23rd of September, January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn, and it will be there until the 16th of February. So I just wanted to check that date, and yes, that is correct. So with Venus going through your ninth house, this can indicate that you are enjoying what you're learning or enjoying teaching. Maybe you've found a mentor or a counselor who shares some really helpful or positive advice or wisdom with you on a different level. This can indicate that you are getting your travel plans back on track, or you may even have the opportunity to enjoy traveling abroad. On a different note, the ninth house, as I mentioned earlier, rules over your belief systems. So with Venus going through the ninth house, you could be having spiritual experiences or perhaps religious experiences that are very profound, and which bring you a lot of peace and comfort when it comes to your vision for the future. For others of you, you may be you may be chatting with your friends who live abroad. You may be making friends with people who are from different cultural backgrounds. You could be learning another language, or just enjoying learning something new. Now, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 4th house. Now, this full moon in your 4th house is opposing Pluto in Aquarius in your 10th house, and it's squaring Jupiter in Taurus in your 6th house. So Jupiter is the apex planet of this particular full moon, which means that us Taurians are really going to be at the helm of this full moon and what takes place. So with the 4th house, this is to do with your living situation, property, living circumstances, your family. If you look after, if you have any dependents, whether these are children or perhaps your elderly parents, there could be some kind of event which takes place here, or something coming to conclusion or perhaps fruition for some of you. Because of the square to Jupiter, you may be getting pregnant. For others of you, this could indicate having maybe an argument with your parents or with your children or flatmates. If you live with flatmates, because this full moon is occurring at 5 degrees, this could be to do with your hobbies, your passions, your love life. Again, this represents children, represents owning your own business. Some of you may be selling your place or your home, or relocating. And for others of you, this could indicate having a very transformative and impactful conversation with your parents or with your children. Okay, no matter how old they are, or no matter how old you are, with the square to Jupiter at 6 degrees in your 1st house, this has the energy of it's like conflictual energy, because it's 6th house energy. So it could be that your path and what you want to do is at odds with what someone else, like a family member, wants you to do, but you're like, no, this is my path. I have to walk it. I have to move forward. For others of you, it may just be an emotional time. Even if nothing is happening on a material level, there may just be a lot of family history that's coming up, or just like deep-seated emotions could be rising to the surface. And so Taurus, that's all I have for you for January. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. I'm going to move on to Gemini, but not before I have some of my tea. This is my new favorite. It's peppermint and licorice. It's by Puka, Pukka. I love it. And this is my new mug from Croatia, which I also love. I just spent 3 weeks there a couple months ago. Okay, so this is for my fellow Geminis. So sun, moon, and risings. I'm a Gemini rising myself. I love to do the Gemini horoscope because I'm hugely biased. So let's get into it, Gemini. On the 1st of January, Mercury will be stationing direct in the sign of Sagittarius in your 7th house at 22 degrees. So the 7th house rules over friendships, partnerships, your significant other, and marriage. Okay, so your spouse as well is represented here. It also rules over promises, commitments, and let's say sales, client relationships, and so on and so forth. So Mercury retrograde in the 7th house can indicate that you had to, or you decided to renegotiate the terms of a working business relationship or a collaboration, or your business partnership in general. I myself have already done this. I'm just realizing it as I'm doing your horoscope. I was like, oh yeah, that's me. This can indicate that you and your significant other may have been rehashing, let's say, topics that have been important ones in your relationship. And this can see you getting on the same page, redefining the way that you communicate with each other, finding a way to understand where the other person is coming from. With Mercury retrograde in your 7th house, this can indicate that you are hearing back from friends that you haven't spoken to in ages. Because Mercury is our ruling planet, this can indicate that it's us who's reaching out. As a Gemini rising, I've seen this occur in my own life both ways. So whenever Mercury is retrograde for me, I always hear from friends that I haven't seen in ages. And now that I'm thinking about it, there's one friend who lives abroad, and I almost always see her when Mercury is retrograde, and she's also a Gemini, so go figure. If you have client relationships, existing client relationships, you may be renegotiating the terms of that relationship or even contracts in general. With Mercury ruling over the 4th house, you may have been changing up your living situation, so renewing your rental contract, or this could be to do with renewing your tenants' contracts. With Mercury retrograde in the 7th house, this could indicate hearing back from exes or reconnecting with people that you used to be romantically involved with, or just hearing from them. Now, on the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter the sign of Capricorn, and this will be a transit through your 8th house until the 13th of February. Your 8th house is hugely activated for almost the whole month, because we've got the new moon there, plus Venus will be going through your 8th house as well. So the 8th house is all about your mutual resources, healing, anything occult or esoteric. It's to do with intimacy, vulnerability, sex, fears and insecurities, as well as addictions. So Mars going through your 8th house indicates that this is what you are putting your energy and a lot of effort into. So this could be combining your resources with another person or separating those resources. So Mars can be cutting someone out of your life, especially if you've been very intimately involved with this person previously. You could be cutting toxic connections, cutting cords in a spiritual sense or via meditation. You could be experiencing your fears and insecurities bubble up to the surface around this period of time, but Mars is going to give you the willpower and the courage to overcome these. Now, on the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees, and this is occurring in your 8th house. The new moon's conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees, and it's making a trine to Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees. So basically, all those aforementioned topics are going to still be relevant this time around. Sorry, I'm just Mercury retrograding right now. There we go. So this can indicate that you are planting the seeds to combine your mutual resources with another person. This could be the start of you seeing a psychologist or a hypnotherapist or someone who is maybe a Reiki practitioner. So this could be to do with going on a deep dive with your healing journey on another level. The eighth house is connected to your own intuition. So you could be discovering new intuitive or psychic gifts around the 11th of January, plus or minus a couple of weeks on a different level. You may be taking your existing intuitive gifts and I don't want to say capitalizing on it, but doing something further with those. So for example, if you read the tarot for yourself, I just remembered I was going to do a little like word of the month for all of the signs. I'm going to add that at the end. Someone remind me. I was going to do that for each sign as we go. I distracted myself. So the new moon, like I said, is occurring in your 11th house. If you read the tarot, maybe you're going to start doing tarot readings for another person, or you're just finding a way to use your intuitive and psychic gifts to unlock hidden fears or insecurities and really overcome these. Now, on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius in your 9th house. So Pluto spent about 11 weeks in your 9th house from the 23rd of March through to the 11th of June this year in 2023. And basically, Pluto will spend almost the whole year in your 9th house, except for between about mid-September. I'm going to chuck the dates in the description box after the video. So about, I think it's the 19th or something of September through till the 1st of November. And essentially, this is a new 21-year cycle that is starting for you. So again, the 9th house rules over travel, foreign affairs, import, export, publishing, the law, education, and your belief systems. So Pluto going through your 9th house can see you receiving a life transforming education, or someone steps into this role of counselor or mentor to you, and they have a profoundly impactful and transformative impact on your life. For others of you, you may be going through the court system to take on some kind of workplace issue, maybe a former boss or a company that you used to work for, especially because Pluto rules over your 6th house. And so you could really be like, bringing someone who bullied you or someone who oppressed or controlled you to justice in a legal sense. On a different level, you can certainly be overcoming fears or insecurities with respect to flying. So maybe you have a fear of planes, or maybe you're afraid of just traveling overseas in general. Maybe you go on a travel trip by yourself, or one which just transforms you from the inside out. And for others of you, this can indicate that you are going to go through a totally like a total deprogramming experience when it comes to your belief systems. So this could see some of you who are religious, no longer being religious by the time that you're done with this transit, or vice versa, or you could basically have a spiritual awakening while Pluto goes through your 9th house. And for others of you, if I haven't said this already, you may be stepping into, I just have to give a shout out to my friend Eva. That was the Gemini I was referring to before. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so you could be stepping into the role of teaching, all right? So maybe you are becoming a counselor, a mentor, a coach, a teacher. Maybe you are producing educational content which transforms the industry that you're in, or which just changes your vision for your future. Okay, so maybe you never saw yourself as a teacher, or maybe this experience somehow changes your belief systems on the whole. Now, Gemini, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your 8th house, and Venus will be there until the 16th of February. So again, we're seeing that 8th house being super duper activated for you. Venus in the 8th house can indicate that you are maybe receiving financial help from another person, or having access to their resources, which helps you greatly in some respect. For others of you, you can be experiencing more intimacy in your relationship with your partner, or even with friends. This can indicate that you are just letting your guard down and really allowing yourself to be vulnerable with other people. Venus through the 8th house can indicate that you are enjoying the things that the 8th house rules over. So this could be learning about anything occult or esoteric in nature, quote unquote conspiracy theories. They're only a conspiracy theory until they're proven to be real. So anyway, I digress. Venus through the 8th house can indicate that you are earning more money from your own business, if you own your own business, because Venus rules over the 8th house. And essentially, this is going to help you when it comes to healing and just experiencing more emotional contentment, and perhaps even feeling like you have friends or loved ones who are there for you, who see you and who encourage you to be your true and authentic self, and not to just skim the surface, so you can get to the deeper root of things. So now, lastly, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo in your 3rd house at 5 degrees. The full moon will oppose Pluto and Aquarius in your 9th house, and it will square Jupiter and Taurus in your 6th house. So the 3rd house rules over friends, co-workers, clients, neighbors. It also rules over qualifications, apprenticeships, licenses, tests, exams, as well as social media and anything to do with business, as well as writing and content creation. So full moons indicate the ending of a chapter or a cycle. So you may be, it could be that you are launching some kind of communications piece, or it could be finished. So this could be like launching a documentary, putting a writing piece out, or something on your website or your social media. Maybe it's, to do with releasing videos on YouTube or Instagram. Because of the tense aspects that it's making, there could be some pushback or fear with allowing this to circulate, especially because Pluto's in the 9th house, which rules over import and export and publishing. So you could be nervous about this thing that you have written or created, or this product that's ready to launch. But it has to be done. It's a stretch goal. It's for your own growth and expansion. And with the square to Jupiter in your 12th house, this could be magnifying your fears and insecurities about putting yourself out there in such a way. Because of the tense aspects of this full moon, there may be tension or disagreements with friends, co-workers, clients, or neighbors. Or perhaps this is about you accepting feedback or assistance from them in some way, which actually makes you uncomfortable. And so that's all I have for you, Gemini. If you enjoyed your horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button And I'm now going to move on to Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Okay, so Cancers, on the 1st of January, there will be a Mercury will station direct in Sagittarius in your 6th house at 22 degrees. So this can see you ironing out issues or difficulties that you've been experiencing in the workplace, maybe with overcoming certain bad habits, quote unquote, or even addictions. This can see you getting to the bottom of certain health issues or ailments. And look, Mercury retrograde in the 6th house is never fun because the 6th house rules over problems and conflicts. But Mercury retrograde there does allow you to be hyper-focused on just getting through your day-to-day tasks, admin duties, the boring, mundane, tedious stuff. And if there have been ongoing issues or conflicts and disagreements, this can see you finding a way to move through these, move past these, or eradicate them. Now, on the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your 7th house, and it will be there till the 13th of February. Mars through the 7th house can indicate tension, arguments, discord, or disagreements with your one-to-one friendships, your significant other, your spouse, business partner, or someone that you collaborate with. But that's the negative manifestation of it. The positive manifestation is taking on a new goal with one of these people. So you and your business partner or someone that you work with or collaborate with could decide that you want to start something new, you want to tackle a new area or dynamic of your business, or work on a new product or something that you want to sell. With Mars going through the 7th house, this is the first house of your significant other. So your significant other could get or could sort of become more ambitious, more active. They could be into physical exercise or activity, so going to the gym, working out, going for runs, doing anything Mars-like. So this could indicate that there's like a renewed sense of vitality and strength within your significant other. Now, on the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees in your 7th house. It will be conjunct Pluto and squaring Chiron in Aries in your 10th house. So new moons indicate a new chapter taking place or planting the seed for something new. So for some of you, also this new moon is going to trine Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. So there are positive aspects here, especially between Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter, Saturn being the ruler of the new moon. It's sextiling Mars in Cap and sextiling Jupiter in Taurus. Don't worry about all of the aspects and the details, just in terms of how this can play out for you. This can indicate taking your relationship with another person to the next level. Because this new moon is at 20 degrees and it's trine Uranus, this could be something that is unexpected, shocking, unplanned, comes about quickly. Could even be kind of scandalous because of the conjunction to Pluto and the new moon at 20 degrees, which is the Scorpio degree. So maybe other people are going like, whoa, you're moving really quickly with this person. Or there could even be a little bit of, I want to say like gossip or scandal around like who this other individual is, again, because it is conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees, which is the Leo degree, which rules over love and relationships. But, you know, I see this as something that makes you really happy, you know, with Saturn sextiling Mars and sextiling Jupiter. It's like, this is what you want. This is where you're meant to be, right? Now, even if it's not pertaining to relationships, this could be a new business partnership or a new project that you take on with another person in a working sense, or even just a project in general. And this could come about really quickly, where this person is like, hey, you know, are you up for doing this, or can I engage your services to do that? And then the deadline is just like, I need it by such and such a time. And maybe it's a real push for you to rearrange your schedule to accommodate this new project. Or perhaps, let's say, for example, if you normally do like a consultation call to see what the client wants, and there's like a several week process, someone could come on board, come up to you or email you and be like, I want to work with you. When can we start? When's the soonest we can start? And so you may just be changing how you normally do things with work to accommodate this amazing work opportunity. If you're in a relationship around this time already, this could indicate that there is an exciting new chapter starting in your partner's life. It may not have too much to do with you personally, but you're just having to like adjust to this fast-paced development in their life. Now, on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius, which means it will be transiting your 8th house. Pluto spent about 11 weeks there already, from the 23rd of March through till the 11th of June. And that was in 2023. Pluto will spend most of the time in Aquarius in 2024, but there'll be a brief dip back into Capricorn around mid to late September through till I think it's the 1st of November. I'll put the dates in the description box below. So this is a new 21-year cycle that is starting for you Cancerians. I personally just had Pluto go through my 8th house, so I know what's up with this transit, and it is all about you guys delving into the occult or esoteric topics, astrology, tarot, anything to do with your intuitive gifts or psychic gifts. There may be talents and gifts that you have, especially because Pluto rules over your 5th house, that you didn't even know that you had. So for example, I only started reading the tarot when I was back in 2019, and now I do tarot readings professionally. And there are other intuitive gifts as well that I'm not going to mention in this video that I discovered while Pluto was in my 8th house, and these were not things that I experienced in my childhood. They really were latent gifts that sort of revealed themselves. So that could certainly be the case for you Cancerians. Pluto going through the 8th house asks you to really go through your fears and insecurities and overcome these. So reclaim your power and take your power back, really, when it comes to certain fears and insecurities. And this could be to do with intimacy or sex or dating, especially because Pluto rules over your 5th house. This could be fears or an aversion to accepting help, resources, or emotional support from other people. This will be the most profoundly healing and transformative experience on your emotional health and possibly even physical health of your life. Not everyone will experience Pluto going through their 8th house in this lifetime, and that's because Pluto takes nearly 250 years to orbit through all 12 signs. So you could consider yourself lucky or honored to experience this transit, as I personally did, although of course everyone's different. Some of you may be working with a psychologist, psychiatrist, hypnotherapist, Reiki healer, or just any kind of healer, really. And this could be to heal on any level with any given like topic or area of your life. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your 7th house. So it's 111 right now as I'm doing this transit for you guys, or talking about this transit, 111 on the clock. Venus going through the 7th house is amazing for relationships of all kinds. So whether this is with friends, clients, your business partner or partners, or your spouse or significant other, Venus going through the 7th house can indicate that there is more harmony and peace that you're experiencing with these other individuals. It portends good things for your love life. So this can see you getting on track with your significant other, or just, experiencing more love in your relationships, and, in friendships as well, especially because Venus rules over your 11th house, which is Taurus. This can indicate that you're having beautiful one-on-one time with your friends. Now, on the 25th of January, oh, just by the way, Venus will be in Capricorn until the 16th of February, if I didn't already say that. On the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your second house. So the second house rules over finances and resources, and this full moon is making an opposition to Pluto and Aquarius in your 8th house, and it's squaring Jupiter in Taurus at 6 degrees in your 11th house. So this full moon is tense. This full moon is supercharged with powerful energy thanks to these aspects that it's making. But ultimately, Jupiter is about truth, and the sign of Taurus is about your values. Pluto is about anything that's hidden beneath the surface, as well as intimacy and vulnerability and secrets. So these topics could be coming up for you, right? So what are your personal values, and how are these working with the friendships that you currently have? How does this gel with your wider network, with your community, with your acquaintances, and with your long-term goals and dreams, which are represented by the 11th house? And with the opposition to Pluto in your 8th house, it's like, what are your fears about this? What are your fears about making your values known? What are your fears and insecurities, and how are they impacting you in your friendships? Is this indicating that you're holding back from speaking your truth and basically showing up as your real and authentic self with your friends and with your wider network on a different level? The second house rules over finances and resources. So you could be making a big investment or spending a lot of money, or you could be making money through certain means that people in your wider network, or perhaps your friends, are questioning. Maybe they're questioning the ethics of this, or, how are you doing this? Or with Jupiter in Taurus at 6 degrees, I'm not going to lie, this can indicate that a big win that you have financially, or with respect to your resources, or how you're showing up in alignment with your value system, is unfortunately, having other people be jealous of you as a result. And so you may feel like you have to redefine your friendships because they're maybe not in alignment with your core value system anymore, or perhaps, let's say, jealousy or envy or greed is showing up in an ugly way, but in a way that you can't ignore anymore. It's like something is being made really obvious to you. And because the full moon is at 5 degrees, which is about your it's the Leo degree, which rules over love and romance. This could be to do with your choice in romantic partner. Okay, so I don't want to end it on a note. Just know that 5 degrees is about success and triumph. So you could be having a big win financially, earning a lot of money, or like a lump sum of money, or you could be procuring a certain possession or resource which is hugely beneficial to you in some way. Or perhaps this is just on a deeper level, a huge realization about your self-worth, feelings of worthiness, and how you've been letting your wider network, perhaps your social media presence or your friends, determine your self-worth. So it could even just be what's going on a deeper level for you. So thank you, Cancer. That's all I have for you for January. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And I'm going to move on to Leos in just a moment. So this is for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Leos, on the 1st of January, Mercury is going to station direct in the sign of Sagittarius in your 5th house at 22 degrees. So the 5th house rules over your love life, dating, children, creativity, hobbies, passions, and your business if you own your own business. So Mercury retrograde here can indicate that you have been reconnecting with lovers, old lovers, plural, exes. You could be hearing back from them, or you could be reaching out. This could indicate that you are getting back in touch with your children if you haven't been on speaking terms, or maybe you just don't talk that often and you're hearing from them, or if they live abroad, they could be visiting during this period of time, or maybe they did while Mercury was retrograde. On a different level, if you own your own business, this can see you having made some changes to your business, with Mercury ruling over the 2nd house, which is finances and resources, and with it also ruling over the 11th house, which represents your long-term goals and dreams. Maybe while Mercury was retrograde, you were changing the financial structure of your business, or how much money you're putting into it, or what you're investing in. And for others of you, you could have just been rethinking your long-term goals and dreams for your business. And some of you Leos may have actually gotten back together with an ex and given things another try. Oh, thank you so much, Lulia Abel, for your donation. That's very, very generous of you. Thank you. On the 4th of January, Mars will enter the sign of Capricorn in your 6th house, and it will be there from the 4th of January through till the 13th of February. So the 6th house rules over your habits, routines, diet, health, and exercise regime. It rules over your work and what you're doing day to day. So I'm not going to lie, I love Mars going through the 6th house, because this can see you having so much energy to just get things done and do what needs to be done, so you can power through your workload. You can achieve lots and lots of things on your to-do list. This can see you getting active and fit and healthy, and just having so much energy to be productive. Okay, it's a very, very productive transit. The 6th house and Mars going through the 6th house can indicate there being discord or challenges in the workplace or in your day-to-day work life, but it's nothing that you can't overcome. Now, on the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees in your 6th house, and it will be conjunct Pluto, and it's also trining Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees. And basically, new moons indicate a new chapter starting somewhere in our lives. We're planting the seeds for something new. So if we just revisit those aforementioned topics and themes, that's what you're going to be starting something new in. Okay, so planting the seeds for something new in one of those areas. So these could be new health goals, new fitness goals, committing to a new habit or a routine. This could be to do with cutting out substances, drugs, medications. On a different level, this can indicate that you are starting a new job or a new role at your workplace. And really, this can see you being more assertive about your responsibilities. And for others of you, this can see you just taking on a healthier lifestyle in general. The 6th house rules over pets, so you may actually be getting a new pet around the new moon, which would be super exciting. Let me know in the comment section below if that's happening. So around the 11th of January, plus or minus a couple of weeks. And because the new moon's at 20 degrees, which is the Scorpio degree, whatever's taking place, and with the trine to Uranus, it's happening quickly, it's fast-paced, it's unexpected, it's rapid, it's not what was planned, or if you had a plan, that kind of goes out the window, or there's a big change to the proceedings or the plan that you'd had in mind. So on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius. And Pluto already spent about 11 weeks in Aquarius from the 11th of March till from the 23rd of March till the 11th of June in 2023, so this year. So you've already had a glimpse of this. Pluto takes nearly 250 years to transit through all through all 12 signs. Guys, it's Mercury retrograde as I'm filming this. So let me just I need another one. Let me start that over. Pluto spent 11 weeks from the 23rd of March through till the 11th of June in Aquarius in your 7th house. So you've had a glimpse of this. You've already started to see what's to come, but just remember that this is a 21-year transit, all right? And this is all about your relationships, whether these are with friends, your significant other, business partnerships, clients, and the commitments and the promises that you make to other people. Okay, so this can indicate that you are maybe meeting a soulmate during this period of time, getting engaged, getting married, maybe getting divorced or going through a breakup. Obviously, 2 decades is a really long time, so lots of you will go through all of that anyway. But in any case, this indicates that you are redefining how you show up in your relationships and the kinds of relationships that you engage in. So if you have a history of getting into relationships with people who aren't right for you, who are maybe just maybe toxic, abusive, controlling, obsessive, etc. Pluto going through your 7th house is going to indicate why that's the case. Why have you experienced this? Why have these relationships shown up in your life? What did they teach you? And more importantly, how do you break that cycle? How do you reclaim your power and control in relationships, especially if you are currently in a relationship or in friendships or relationships in general, where you're experiencing obsessive or controlling or possessive behavior? This can indicate that you're going through a deeply healing process with Pluto going through the 7th house. And I personally have had Pluto in my 7th house with Pluto in Capricorn, and that's in Placidus, by the way. And, just to share a bit of my personal life to give you an indicator, while Pluto was in Capricorn in my 7th house, I got into a long-term relationship. I got engaged. I got married. This is all over the course of 12 years. And as of the start of this year, we've separated and there is someone new in my life. So you can see how Pluto going through the 7th house, my personal experience, can indicate that you experience the whole gamut of what there is to go through in relationships. But it's about, getting to that deeper, intimate part of yourself so that you're able to share this with another person and be more vulnerable and intimate with your person, let's say. So some of you may be meeting your soulmate during this time, or just having profound and deep and impactful relationships. And maybe you are going to go into business with another person, and this could totally reshape your career or the way in which you conduct business. And for those of you who already are in a relationship, your 7th house is your partner's 1st house. So Pluto going through your 7th house can indicate that your partner is undergoing this huge transformation in their life, where every part of their life is changing, and maybe they're they almost seem unrecognizable or just healed in a really beautiful and profound way. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your 6th house. So this can indicate that you're getting along better with your co-workers. This can indicate that you're enjoying time with your pets if you have pets. This can see you it's experiencing more vitality, or not necessarily more vitality, but let's just say better health in general. And also some of you can have really positive interactions in the workplace. If I didn't say that already, maybe there's socializing that's taking place in the workplace, or perhaps you are enjoying eating healthier or cleaner, or just maintaining a healthy living and exercise lifestyle and regime. Now, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 1st house. So, wow, something really transformative is taking place around this time, plus or minus 2 weeks. This full moon will oppose Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, and it will square Jupiter at 6 degrees Taurus. So Pluto is in your 7th house. Jupiter in Taurus is in your 10th house. So this can indicate that you are having experiencing some kind of win or triumph or success. And this could be something that comes through or via a lot of hard work or a lot of effort. There may be a lot of pressure on you this time, around this time, to do with work, career, or perhaps this is more about your personal responsibilities, so leadership responsibilities and duties and commitments to other people. This could be to do with your love life, because it is at 5 degrees, which is the Leo degree, or children, again, represented by the Leo degree. And for some of you, you could just be having a really profound realization when it comes to your path in life, your approach to life, whether you see the glass half full or half empty. This could be to do with how you, how much like joy and pleasure you allow yourself to engage in. So this could be you allowing yourself to have more fun, or to pursue your hobbies or your commitments. You could be completing some kind of creative or artistic goal or project. So you could be finishing something up in that department. And for others of you, you may be concluding your obligations or commitments towards another person, especially because we have that 1st and 7th house axes being highlighted. And so, Leo, that's all I have for you for January 2024. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And now I'm going to move on to Virgo. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Risings. I'm a Virgo moon myself, so I always love to do the Virgo horoscopes. Virgo, on the 1st of January, Mercury will finally station direct in Sagittarius in your 4th house. The 4th house is all about your property and living circumstances. It's all about family, your ancestry, lineage, as well as your emotions. Okay, so when Mercury is retrograde in the 4th house, this can be a very emotional time. We can be going over past history or remembering things from childhood. You may have reconnected with family members during this time. This could be in a physical sense, like seeing family members you haven't seen for ages, or this could be emotionally reconnecting with family members that you'd maybe had a falling out with, or that you weren't seeing eye to eye with. On a different note, while Mercury's retrograde in your 4th house, which is from the 23rd of December till the 1st of January, you could have been rethinking your living circumstances. So you could have been making changes or preparations to where you want to move to next. You could be redecorating the home, renewing your lease or that of your tenants. For others of you, you could have changed your mind, or could be in the process of changing your mind about where you want to move to next, how long you want to stay in your current residence. And essentially, it's about rethinking or reconsidering decisions that you had made about your living circumstances and arrangements. And for some of you, this may be outside of your control. So you may have circumstances that, like I said, aren't in your control that you are having to adjust to, especially because Mercury rules over your 10th house. So this could be to do with the government or with authorities. I have one Virgo friend in particular who comes to mind right now as I am filming this. And for others of you, it could just be that your living circumstances hinge on your professional responsibilities, on your work, on your career, or on something that, like I said, you don't have control over necessarily. Now, in terms of when all of this will kind of calm down and potentially be settled, it could be around the middle of January once Mercury stations direct. Okay, Virgo, so on the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your 5th house. It will be there till the 13th of January. And so wherever Mars goes, this is where we're putting a lot of our energy, time, attention, and effort. The 5th house rules over owning your own business, your love life, sex life, rules over creative gifts, hobbies, and passions, as well as children. If you children, I was gonna say if you have your own children. Well, yeah, if you have children, they're your children. Anyway, so Mars will be in your 5th house till the 13th of February. So that's your focus. If you own your own business, then you're focused on making changes here. Maybe there are new goals that you're setting, or there's a lot of work for you to get through. It can be a very, very busy period for you, very trying, very taxing, but still very rewarding. Mars through the 5th house can indicate that your 5th house is highly activated for the whole month by the new moon and Venus. So, a new sexual relationship could be beginning. Let's move on to the new moon though, because I'm going to discuss all of that then, or about your 5th house with the new moon and what could be starting. So the new moon's occurring on the 11th of January, and it will be conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees and trining Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees. So new moons indicate a new chapter taking place or new seeds being planted. So for some of you, you could be getting pregnant, deciding that you want to start trying to have a family or expanding your family once again. For others of you, this could indicate, if you have children already, that a powerful new chapter is starting in the lives of one of your children or one or more of your children. This can indicate that you start dating someone new, that you're flirting with someone, you may develop a little crush. For others of you, this can indicate that you're starting your own business, or if you own your own business, maybe this is a new product, a new service that you're looking to develop. With new moons, it's not so much about the launch of these, but it's the development of these. So it's like the kernel of the idea. So you may decide that you want to start your own business, that you want to create a new website, that you want to develop a new product to sell or a new service to offer, and you could be working towards that. For others of you, this can indicate that there's a new creative hobby or passion that you're discovering, or maybe you have one already, but you're deciding to pursue it. So for example, you could always have enjoyed painting, but now you're looking at starting painting classes, just as an example. So with the trine to Uranus at 19 degrees, which is in your 9th house, this could again indicate that you're learning, or maybe that there's a mentor coming into your life, or some kind of coach, someone who can help you or show you the ropes. So again, the new moon's on the 11th of January, and this energy will be with you for 2 weeks, plus or minus 2 weeks, till we get to the next new moon. So on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius in your 6th house. You already saw Pluto in Aquarius in your 6th house between the 23rd of March and the 11th of June in 2023. So Pluto had a brief 11-week stint there in the 6th house, or in our 6th house, I should say. And Pluto will spend most of the year in Aquarius, but it will briefly dip back into Capricorn for a couple of months, from roughly mid to late September through till I think the 1st of November. I'll put dates in the description box after this video goes live. So the 6th house is all about health, diet, exercise, as well as work, habits and routines, and your day-to-day life, as well as how you can be of service, and it rules over conflicts and disagreements of all kinds. So Pluto here in your 6th house indicates that there is a huge new health journey that you are going on. So this could be to do with diet, exercise, working with health practitioners, or with different healing modalities. And this could be you working on detoxing your life. I personally this year have taken up yoga, which, apart from when I traveled for 4 months, I do like 5 or 6 times a week. I've been really focused on getting healthier with, making sure I take certain vitamins, and, just doing exercise more frequently. And I'm sharing this as a Virgo moon. So you could have already have been inspired to get healthier. For others of you, you may be looking at how you can cut back on certain substances, or how to make a substitution of certain things in your life, or, whether, I don't want to go too much into the medical side of things because I'm not a medical practitioner, but you may just be interested in alternative healing modalities, or this could be to do with something that's like more esoteric in nature because it's Pluto, or maybe even a little bit taboo, or this could be looking at healing that involves psychology, which is Pluto, or something that's to do with getting to the deep core, the deep root of what the actual issue is. And so many of you will be overcoming certain fears and insecurities during this time, which has a really positive impact on you. Now, this is a 21-year transit, so you're not gonna see all of this take place in 2024, but these are like the building blocks for what you can expect for this long transit that us Virgos are going to be experiencing. With work, this can indicate that you're changing industries, or you're changing the foundation of how you approach work. So this could be maybe realizing how your approach to work has not been serving you, and maybe it's been negatively impacting you. This could be your mindset, because Pluto rules over the 3rd house, or even your health. So you could be getting to a point where you feel like work has just controlled you or taken over your life, and it's like, I can't go on like this because I'm experiencing negative impacts on other areas of my life. So I need to take back control of my working hours and my day-to-day life and routine. On a different note, a lot of you Virgos are going to be forced to become more assertive. And if you don't become more assertive, then Pluto in the 6th house will indicate that people who are bullies, or who are used to controlling you or manipulating you, whether physically or emotionally, are taking advantage of that. And so Pluto in the 6th house is asking you to address these conflicts, become more assertive, stand up for yourself, and basically fight back. So it's a very, very powerful transit indeed. I myself, as a Virgo moon, have found that I've had to be way more assertive this past year. than I can ever recall being. So now let's have a look at Venus entering Capricorn. So this is going to be taking place on the 23rd of January. So Venus will transit your 5th house from the 23rd of Jan through till the 16th of February. And wherever Venus goes, this indicates that we're experiencing harmony or some kind of blessing or peace or help or assistance. Okay, so Venus loves to be in the 5th house. Just one moment, guys. My throat's just... I was a little bit unwell last week, so maybe I'm still recovering just a little bit. Okay, so Venus in the 5th house can indicate that you're enjoying your hobbies and passions. This can, with Venus and Mars here in the 5th house, maybe the spark in your love life has been reignited. Maybe there's more romance. Maybe you've got a crush on someone, or there's someone that you're flirting with or that you fancy. Maybe someone has confessed their feelings to you or is confessing their feelings to you in the month of January. And if I didn't say this already with the new moon, it could be that you're entering into a new relationship around, well, in January, or you're taking your relationship to the next level. If it wasn't exclusive, maybe you're becoming exclusive, or you feel like you're just getting onto the same page as your partner. If you own your own business, this can see you being really creative and having all of these ideas that you want to share. And this can also indicate that you are maybe trying new things in an artistic sense. So maybe this is to do with writing, drawing, sketching, painting, dancing, cooking. So yeah, it's always lovely to have Venus in the 5th house, and I am very much looking forward to it. And some of you Virgos, if there's no one on the scene romantically speaking, Venus going through the 5th house can indicate that you are more open to love, more open to romance, and open to putting yourself out there when it comes to dating. Lastly, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 12th house. The 12th house is very hidden. It's like beneath the surface, behind the scenes. So what happens in the 12th house is usually felt on a deep and emotional level, and it's not really perceptible to other people. It's just like what's going on for you, right? So with this full moon, it is going to be opposing Pluto in Aquarius in your 6th house, and it's squaring Jupiter in Taurus in your 9th house, 6 degrees. Pluto's at 0 degrees Aquarius, okay? So this can indicate that you are having some kind of awareness when it comes to the ways in which you have self-sabotaged, betrayed yourself, maybe fallen into a victim mindset, or the ways in which you have been sacrificing yourself too much. This could be romantically speaking because the full moon's at 5 degrees, or this could be to do with self-sacrifice when it comes to your children. On a different level, this can indicate that you may be having some past dreams about your past life or past lives, which are really profound. For others of you, you could be having really incredible experiences when it comes to like a tarot reader or an astrology reader, or maybe like a psychic or mediumship reading. And you yourself could be having really profound intuitive downloads around this time. The 12th house is very creative, and the full moon's at 5 degrees, which is the Leo degree, which is also to do with creativity. The 12th house rules over photography, filmography, acting, filmography, I guess it's the same thing, as well as poetry and creative writing. So you may be completing a creative project in one or more of those areas. And also the 12th house rules over spirit guides, angels, and divine beings, as well as the collective unconscious. So you may be having some really incredible spiritual experiences around the 25th of January. Because this full moon is making intense aspect to both Pluto and Jupiter, maybe this is quite shocking to you or quite unexpected, or you feel like other people wouldn't believe you, or perhaps the reading that you have or the vision that you see, whether this is a dream or a clairvoyant vision, is something which really challenges your current way of existing and being. And so, Virgo, that's all I have for you for January 2024. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. So this is for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Risings. So then we'll be going from Libra through to Pisces, and then we'll be done for another month. So Libra, on the 1st of January, Mercury is going to station direct in Sagittarius in your 3rd house at 22 degrees. So you will be seeing out the end of a period of potentially miscommunications with friends, siblings, relatives, and maybe co-workers and neighbors. If not miscommunications, perhaps you have been hearing back from these individuals or socializing with them again or getting back in touch with them. For others of you, you could have picked back up some kind of communications course, or perhaps this could have been resetting a test or an exam, or going back to finish some kind of qualification or get your license for something that you'd push the pause button on. Or maybe you have reactivated certain social media accounts or platforms, and maybe some of you have repurposed content that you have created and used it for something else. Now, between the 4th of January and the 13th of February, Mars will be in Capricorn in your 4th house. And the 4th house rules over your property and living circumstances, your family, as well as your emotions. And it also represents your sense of security. So the 4th house is extremely activated for you in January because there will be a new moon here, and later in the month, Venus, which is your ruling planet, will be transiting the 4th house too. So Mars is a planet which represents taking action, willpower, courage, as well as arguments, disagreements, and discord. So Mars is not happy in the 4th house, but don't worry, because like I said, later Venus will go through the 4th house to smooth things over. But in any case, this can indicate that you're taking action towards changing your living circumstances. So maybe you want to move out, maybe you want to buy property, sell property, renovate. Maybe you are looking to kick out your flatmate, or perhaps you are looking at leaving the family home. In all honesty, this can indicate arguments or fighting with the people that you live with, no matter who they are. Now, with the new moon occurring in your 4th house at 20 degrees on the 11th of January, it will be conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees, and it's trining Uranus in Taurus, which is in your 2nd house. And there's also positive aspects between Saturn and Mars, as well as Saturn and Jupiter. So ultimately, there's a lot of supportive energy with this new moon in your 4th house. Maybe someone is helping you to relocate. Maybe someone is helping you with their resources, or in a financial sense for you to change your set of living circumstances. This can indicate that you are receiving help or support from family or loved ones, or perhaps from your flatmates. And for others of you, this can indicate that a new chapter is starting with your family. So this could be your relationship with someone in your immediate family. For others of you, this can indicate that you're looking at starting a family or potentially getting pregnant around the 11th of January, plus or minus a couple of weeks. Or there could be news of maybe you becoming a grandparent. Okay, so the fourth house rules over family, ancestry, and lineage. And in any case, I feel like a lot of healing is going to be taking place when it comes to your emotions and your family life in general. Certainly from about, mid to late January onwards. Now, on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius in your fifth house. Pluto spent a brief period of about 11 weeks in Aquarius already between the 23rd of March and the 11th of June in 2023. So you've already had a little glimpse of what that was like. Okay, so the fifth house rules over your love life and dating life, sex, children, hobbies, passions, creative gifts, as well as owning your own business. And Pluto is all about Pluto rules over power and control. So it's about reclaiming your personal power and taking back control. And this is a new 21-year cycle that is starting in your life. So what I'm about to discuss is, really a look at what are the themes for you, what are the major themes for you over the next couple of decades. So for many of you, you will be discovering what your hobbies and passions are, or perhaps rediscovering what these are, and just having no shame when it comes to these. Okay, so with Pluto in the fifth house, I have this natally in my chart, and what you're passionate about could be something which other people consider to be taboo or scandalous. I've always been interested in astrology and tarot and anything to do with the occult, and other sort of more conventional people in my life have been a bit like, what? And that's something that, I wanted to keep to myself or be quite secretive about. And for you Libras, you're not going to be able to keep what you're passionate about under wraps anymore. So you may develop Plutonian hobbies and passions. So this could be about astrology, tarot, psychology. Maybe you're really interested in listening to crime podcasts. For some of you, you could be starting your own business in one of these areas. You could become quite obsessive about whatever your hobbies are. And for others of you, you could be deconstructing your business if you already have a business that you own. So you could be, kind of killing it off so that you can rebuild it, because Pluto is about death and rebirth. With Pluto going through the fifth house, some of you may become parents during this time, or perhaps you have responsibilities towards children, even if they are not your own biologically. So this could be nieces, nephews. You could become a guardian. You could be fostering or adopting children during this time as well, especially because Pluto will be in the sign of Aquarius, which is connected to those things. So on a different note, this can indicate that you're overcoming fears and insecurities about dating and about your love life and your sex life. Pluto going through your fifth house can indicate that your love life is being totally transformed, or the kinds of people that you are attracted to could be morphing from one thing into another. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Aquarius, and Venus will be there from the 23rd through till the 16th of February. So Venus is your ruling planet, and wherever Venus goes, this is where you're putting your energy and attention and effort. So Venus in your fourth house could indicate that you are moving somewhere new, or you could be redecorating your home, buying new furniture, buying art for your home, or creating art pieces for your home. You could be enjoying entertaining people in the home. So you could be having guests or visitors over. And on a different note, this can indicate getting along better with your family. So this could be your parents, your children, your significant other, or anyone who you live with. Now, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 11th house. And the 11th house is all about your long-term goals and dreams. It rules over your community and your friends and your wider network. It also rules over passive forms of income and also awards and accolades and recognition. So the full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 11th house could indicate that you are receiving some kind of award or acknowledgement for something that you have done in a creative sense, because it's at the Leo degree, which is 5 degrees. Something that you create could be circulated online, perhaps even going viral. So this could be on social media. This could even be like writing a poem, but then it's online, it's on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Because full moons indicate the ending of a chapter or the closing of a cycle or something reaching its peak. And this full moon is making a tense aspect with Pluto and Jupiter. So it's opposing Pluto in Aquarius in your 5th house, and it is squaring Jupiter and Taurus in your 8th house. This can indicate that there's a bit of tension and discord here. So this could be a falling out with a friend, or walking away from a friendship group or a community or a network that you are part of. For others of you, this could be indicative of your significant other not getting along with your friends, or maybe your friends not approving of who you are dating, because that 5th and the 11th house are both activated, as is the 8th house. So in any case, some of you may be fulfilling or completing a long-term goal or dream, and this could be putting pressure on your love life or on your relationship with your children, because you're experiencing a push to complete this goal, and maybe it's taking you away from your significant other or from your children during this time. Or perhaps you don't have leisure time because you are fulfilling community responsibilities to your community or to your network. In any case, a full moon in the 11th house can indicate that you're getting public recognition for something that you've done creatively or for achieving some kind of goal. So Libra, that's all I have for you for January 2023. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Risings. So Scorpio, on the 1st of January, Mercury is going to station direct in Sagittarius in your 2nd house at 22 degrees. So from, let's say, about mid-December, there may have been some big changes to your finances and resources, to your budget, or maybe to your diet. You could have been rethinking how you spend money, how you earn money. You could have been selling off some of your resources, or just doing a bit of a clean out, because the 2nd house rules over storage. And many of you could have just been rethinking what are your personal values, and really just having a look at if how you have been treating yourself and nourishing and nurturing yourself is reflective of what you, let's just say, your value system in general. So if it's like, I value my health, I value myself, but you are holding back from making small purchases of basic needs for yourself, or if you're always, getting the cheaper item on the menu instead of what you really want, but it is still affordable, you could be looking at whether there is some kind of discord between how you spend money and how much you think that you are personally worth, if that makes sense. Now, on the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter the sign of Capricorn, and it's going to be there until the 13th of February. So with Mars being your ruling planet, wherever Mars goes, whatever it's doing, this is where you are personally focusing all of your a lot of your energy and attention. Okay, so the third house rules over friends, co-workers, clients, siblings, relatives, neighbors, as well as anything to do with commerce, business, transport, and like short-term education courses, so getting like qualifications, apprenticeships, licenses, etc. So this could be indicative of you putting your attention into these things or towards these things. Do be careful with Mars going through the third house when it comes to accidents on the road, issues with your car or with vehicles, as well as getting in trouble for speeding or for maybe not having up-to-date registration for your vehicle. Be very mindful of that with Mars going through the third house. A good way to mitigate this is to just get your car serviced, or to go through a checks and balance system just to make sure everything is in working order. Another way to mitigate, let's say harness the energy of Mars in the third house so that it doesn't manifest negatively, is to clean out your car. Give it a good wash. Just clear out old stuff that you've had in your car. I found a birthday card in my car just the other day from 2017. No word of a lie. So, guilty of this as well. This can indicate disagreements and arguments with friends, siblings, relatives, and neighbors. Not the whole month though, because later Venus is going to enter the sign of the third house. But let's say from about the 4th of January until maybe mid to late January, you're sort of at risk for these things. To be fair, Mars is very productive in the third house. So this can see you pumping out lots of content creation for your business, for your website, developing new products, learning new skills, learning new techniques to apply in the workplace, especially because Mars rules over your 6th house, which is Aries. On the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees in your 3rd house. So it will be conjunct Pluto, which is one of your ruling planets, and it's making a beautiful trine to Uranus in Taurus, which is at 19 degrees, which is in your 7th house. So new moons are all about a new chapter taking place or planting the seed for something new. So some of you Scorpios may be making new friends, joining a small group, starting up a new course or class to learn a new skill, applying for an apprenticeship or a new license or qualification for something. You could be working on developing a new website or a new product or a new service, or looking at lead generation for your business. So it could be a very fruitful and productive time for you in terms of like putting things in place to yield positive results from what you're doing in January, down the track in the future. So Scorpio, on the 20th of January, Pluto, which again is one of your ruling planets, is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius in your 4th house. Pluto already spent about 11 weeks there from the 23rd of March through till the 11th of June in 2023. The 4th house rules over your property and living circumstances, as well as family, your family dynamics, your emotional security, your emotions, and your ancestry and lineage. And so Pluto is a planet which represents power, control, fears, insecurity, as well as healing, transformation, and intuition and intimacy. So many of you Scorpios will be transforming the dynamics of your family relations. Okay, so if you've had issues with your parents, with your children, with your grandparents, anyone who's in your family, this can indicate you on one level potentially taking back control, reclaiming your power. Maybe some of you will be cutting off certain family members who you deem to be toxic or having a really negative impact on your life. For others of you for other Scorpios, this represents an opportunity to perhaps forgive and heal certain family members and totally redefine your relationship that you have, especially if this is with one of your parents, particularly your mother, or your relationship with your children. You may become quite obsessive about getting to the truth or digging out the truth when it comes to your family history, your ancestry, your lineage. For others of you, you could be transforming your living circumstances. Maybe you're inheriting property. Maybe you are actually writing up or drawing up your will and deciding who in your family or who gets what when it comes to your property or possessions of yours. Or this could be to do with mutual resources and how you divvy this up in your will. You may become quite secretive about your living circumstances with Pluto in Aquarius. And by the way, this is a new 21-year cycle that is starting. So this isn't all going to happen in 2024, but maybe you already have awareness of this, or some of this has already been coming up for you since Pluto first re-entered Aquarius in March. So with Pluto in your fourth house, this can indicate that you are going to be making huge changes about, well, when it comes to your living circumstances, maybe living by yourself for the first time, living with your significant other for the first time. This can indicate that you are living abroad or in a town or a place where you've never lived before. For others of you, this can indicate that you are maybe going to be like sharing your home with other people, maybe starting a family, because Pluto is a sign which is connected to fertility, and the fourth house is connected to family. So this can indicate getting pregnant or starting a family for some of you Scorpios. And in any case, this is going to see you, this is going to see some of you basically addressing fears and insecurities which have been impacting you negatively when it comes to your emotions, because the fourth house is about your emotional sense of security. So insecurities could be bubbling up to the surface, but it's only so that you can address these and work through these. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your third house, and it will be there until the 16th of February. So Venus is joining Mars here. And with Venus in your third house, this can indicate getting along better with siblings, relatives, friends, co-workers, neighbors. This can see you maybe learning some kind of new artistic skill, or creating something, because Venus is very creative and it rules over things like painting and drawing, anything artistic. And the third house is to do with like writing and social media. So you could be combining these things, maybe starting a social media account which is something to do with poetry or creative writing, just as an example. So you can really be enjoying learning something new, or enjoying time socializing in small groups of friends or with co-workers or siblings or relatives. Now, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 10th house, and it will be opposing Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, and also squaring Jupiter in Taurus at 6 degrees in your 7th house. So it's a very tense full moon. It's at 5 degrees, which is the Leo degree, which is to do with creativity, your love life, children, hobbies and passions. So ultimately, the 10th house rules over your career as well as your public reputation and public image. So you may be completing something creative that you are putting out into the world, and maybe you're feeling quite nervous about negative feedback. Maybe you have previously been quite secretive about this thing, and now you're bringing it out into the light. For others of you, this could indicate that you are making your relationship status official, or there's some kind of some kind of announcement. So it could be becoming exclusive, entering into a relationship, could be going through a breakup, but again, you're making this public. For others of you, you could be announcing that you are expecting a child or a grandchild, and this is, public information or public knowledge somehow. And it's 222 right now as I'm saying this. For others of you, you could be just achieving some kind of work or career milestone, or maybe some of you are actually quitting your job or just walking away from the industry that you're in, or perhaps you've started your own business and this is the public launch of that. So Scorpio, that's all I have for you for January 2024. So if you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And now I'm going to move on to Sagittarius. So this is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Sag, Mercury's been retrograde in your first house. And that's from the 23rd of December. So it started off in Capricorn, then on the 23rd of December, it went back into Sagittarius. But from the 1st of January, Mercury will be direct. And so this can indicate that you have had to sort out a lot of things which require you to be on the phone, sending emails, making changes to plans and meetings and deadlines. Whenever Mercury is retrograde in the first house, we can be really, really busy, like just in terms of socializing. So you could have been seeing a lot of people during this period of time. You could have been reconnecting with people that you haven't seen in ages. Once Mercury's direct, when Mercury's direct once again, and certainly after the post-shadow period, which is from the middle of January, you can stop having issues with your phone, vehicles, emails, anything to do with post and delivery, and so on and so forth. With Mercury retrograde in the first house, you may have rethought your approach to your career with Mercury ruling the 10th house, or you may have been redefining contracts or just finding out more information about the terms and conditions of one of your client relationships or business partner relationships, because Mercury rules the 7th house. Or you could have just been reconnecting with your significant other during this period of time, because Mercury rules over your 7th house. On the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your 2nd house, and it will be there until the 13th of February. Wherever Mars goes, this is where we're spending a lot of time, attention, and effort. And because the 2nd house rules over finances and resources, Mars going through the 2nd house can indicate there being a lot of expenses or spending a lot of money very quickly, but it can also indicate working really hard to earn money or to procure certain resources or valuables. On the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees in your 2nd house, and it is conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees. It is making a lovely trine to Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees, and Uranus is in your 6th house. So new moons indicate a new chapter starting somewhere in our lives, or we're planting the seeds for something new. So this can indicate that you are developing new ways to make money. You could be working on ways to procure new resources. You could be setting a new goal when it comes to, let's say diet, because the 2nd house rules over the food that we eat. And some of you may be developing a new budget scheme or new spending habits. With Mars going through the 2nd house, which rules over storage, and this new moon in the 2nd house, this could be the organization of how you store things. You could be selling off a lot of your possessions or clearing out a lot of your possessions, maybe giving them away, because the new moon's at 20 degrees, which is the Scorpio degree. There may be a big expense, which is very unexpected and out of the blue on the 11th of January that you weren't expecting to have to purchase. So it could be that you're sort of by circumstance forced into spending this money. But with the trine to Uranus at 19 degrees, I see this as something that's going to be useful. It's an opportunity which you can capitalize on, which is going to yield favorable results, but in the future down the track. And that may be 1 month from now, or 6 months, or 18 months. In any case, on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius in your 3rd house. You already experienced Pluto in Aquarius in your 3rd house from the 23rd of March through till the 11th of January. 11th of June. I keep doing this. It's Mercury retrograde, guys, and I'm a Gemini, Virgo. So anyway, Pluto will be back in Aquarius in your 3rd house, and the 3rd house rules over, just to recap, friends, co-workers, clients, siblings, relatives, and it's also connected to writing, content creation, skills, and qualifications. So Pluto here in your 3rd house can indicate that you are transforming your relationship, or maybe healing your relationship with certain friends, with siblings, or with certain relatives. If these relationships are toxic, then you may be going through a purging process. So you no longer want to be friends with certain people. You no longer want to do business with certain people. Ultimately, Pluto is a planet which represents power, control, manipulation, but it is also connected with intimacy and healing, okay? And also shared mutual resources. So you could be going into business with a sibling. You could be going into business with friends. You could be developing a new website or product or business. You could be putting together some important written piece or communications piece, so maybe like a documentary or a film, or developing a social media channel or a blog of sorts. And this could be associated with Plutonian things. So this could be like an expose, or looking at taboo topics, conspiracy theories, scandalous topics, uncovering secrets and lies. All this could be to do with like hidden mysteries of sorts, or maybe to do with crime, because Pluto also rules over crime. Or maybe you're writing about healing or developing course content, which, as in educational content, which pertains to these things and to these matters. You could be developing new skills, which come in the form of like a qualification, or an apprenticeship of sorts, or a license to do something. And this could be something which transforms how you work and how you communicate, and what kind of skills you're able to develop. Now, because Pluto rules over the 12th house, you could develop or put into practice your interest in yoga, meditation, or anything spiritual in nature, or this could be to do with poetry, creative writing, or photography. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn, and it will be there until the 16th of February. So we've got Mars and Venus both in your 2nd house, and obviously we've just had that new moon there as well. And Venus going through the 2nd house, which it's naturally associated with, indicates that you can be earning more money, or just be more creative about how you make money. This can see you procuring new valuables or possessions. This can see you enjoying cooking or the food that you are eating. This can see you experiencing more balance when it comes to your diet, as well as an increase in self-worth or feelings of worthiness. Now, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 9th house. And 9th house, it's not the 9th house. Hang on, guys. Wait a minute. Lucky I didn't start reading about this. That would have been highly annoying. Full moon in Leo in your 10th house. No, it is the 9th house. I'm on Sagittarius. Sorry. For a second there, I thought I was on Scorpio. I beg your pardon. Okay. So there's a full moon in your 9th house on the 25th of January, and full moons indicate the ending of a chapter or a cycle or something coming to light or to fruition, or perhaps it can be an epiphany, especially because it's in the 9th house. This full moon in Leo is opposite Pluto in Aquarius, which is in your 3rd house, and it's also going to be making a square to Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees, and that is in your 6th house. So there's a lot of tension with this full moon in Leo. With the full moon occurring in your 9th house, you may have some kind of profound download of information or spiritual awakening, or you're seeing your vision for your future clearly at this time. This can see some of you walking away from a certain set of tightly held belief systems, whether these are religious, spiritual, political, or just to do with the way that the world works in general, or the way the universe works. It doesn't just have to be the world. And for others of you, this can indicate the conclusion of a court case or some sort of legal proceedings. On a different note, for others of you, this can indicate the end of a university or a college program, or your relationship with a teacher, a mentor, or a counselor. So you could feel like you just don't need to see this counselor anymore, or that you and this teacher or you and this mentor are not in alignment with each other anymore. For others of you, this could indicate that you are possibly having a writing piece of yours published, because the 9th house is associated with publishing, and it could be quite contentious, whatever it is that you are releasing, especially with this opposition to Pluto and with the square to Jupiter in Taurus. For others of you, this can indicate that there is some kind of travel journey, which is perhaps laborious, long, and taxing, which is coming to a close around the 25th of January. So Sagittarius, that's all I have for you for January 2024. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And in a moment, I'll be doing Capricorn. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's a big month for you, Capricorn, because you're going to have Mars and Venus in your sign, as well as the new moon in Capricorn. So lots of change coming through. But first, let's start off with looking at Mercury stationing direct in Sagittarius in your 12th house at 22 degrees. So basically, at first, Mercury was retrograde in Capricorn, and then it went back, and that was from the 13th of December. Then it went back into Sagittarius on the 23rd of December, and then from the 1st, it'll be direct again. So you could have been having to really tackle a lot of subconscious, let's say, fears and insecurities during this period of time. Your sleep may have been very disturbed. You may have been rethinking your approach to life or your path in life. And for others of you, you may have gotten back into meditation or back into yoga or something spiritual in nature, or perhaps creative in nature. You may have found out certain secrets about, let's say, people in your workplace or things to do with your workplace, which maybe you weren't meant to be privy to. Nevertheless, from the middle-ish of January, the post-shadow period will be over. So we'll be done with Mercury retrograde until April, when Mercury will be retrograde in Aries. Nevertheless, on the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter Capricorn in your 1st house, and it will be there until the 13th of February. And basically, Mars is a planet which represents courage, willpower, assertiveness, as well as arguments and accidents. So when Mars is in the 1st house, it can bring all of this stuff to the surface, or it can be what we're dealing with personally because Mars is in the first house. Just remember that Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Mars loves to be in Capricorn. So this is positive for you guys. Having said that, you do just need to be careful that during this period of time, you're not burning yourself out. You're not burning the candle at both ends. Be careful not to take too many risks when it comes to your physical health and, let's say, being on the road. Just be careful when you are driving or if you're operating machinery or using tools. On a different level, Mars in the first house can indicate that you're, more confident, more assertive. You're feeling far more ambitious. You feel like you're able to stand up to people who are not doing the right thing by you, or maybe you are standing up to people on behalf of someone else, potentially your family, because Mars rules over the 4th house, or perhaps your friends, because Mars rules over the 11th house. So Mars in the first house can see some of you on a health level potentially experiencing things like rashes, burns, scrapes, scratches, and like I said, it rules over accidents. So just be careful. I'm not trying to freak you guys out. We experience Mars in our first house about once every 2 years, so this doesn't have to be a big deal. On the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn, so also in your first house at 20 degrees, and it is making a conjunction to Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn, and it will be trining Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees. Okay, and that will be in your 5th house. So this can indicate that there's a new chapter starting in your life. You're planting the seeds to see something new. Because this new moon's at 20 degrees, which is the Scorpio degree, and it's conjunct Pluto, which is associated with fertility. Some of you could be getting pregnant around this time, or planning to start a family or expand your family further. With the trine to Uranus, this could be through IVF or surrogacy, or you could be looking at starting the process, an application process to adopt a child or to foster a child. For others of you, this can indicate that you are starting a new relationship, or that you and your partner are maybe making things exclusive, or taking things to a different level in your relationship. But I see this as being positive because it's trine Uranus at 19 degrees, which is the Libra degree in the 5th house. You and your partner could be embarking on some kind of shared goal or journey together with, your hobbies and your passions. If you don't have children, you're not looking to start a family, and you are not romantically involved with anyone, that's fine. Another way that this can play out is that you are maybe wanting to start your own business or level up your business and take it in a new direction or in a different direction. Capricorn rules over career. So this could be you planting the seeds to maybe shift careers or change the industry that you work in, or perhaps you're just committing to yourself to being more healthy, to being more authentic and in alignment with what your passions are, with what your hobbies are, with your creative gifts and talents. Maybe this is an exciting new creative project. Now, let's have a look. So on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius, and this means it will be transiting your 2nd house. So Capricorns in 2024 will be wrapping up the long and incredibly transformative transit of having had Pluto in Capricorn in your 1st house since 2008. So obviously that's a long time, and now we're looking at Pluto being in your 2nd house, which is to do with finances, resources, your self-esteem and your value system. And basically Pluto has already been in Aquarius for about 11 weeks, and that was from the 23rd of March through till the 11th of June in 2023. and Pluto will spend most of 2024 in Aquarius in your second house, but it will have a brief stint back into Capricorn around mid to late September through till early November. And essentially, Pluto represents lots of things, but power, control, obsession, mutual resources, as well as healing, intimacy, transformation, and anything to do with occult and esoteric matters and psychology. So Pluto re-entering the sign of Aquarius in your second house, or let's say this is a new 21-year cycle that's starting, indicates that you're going to be overcoming fears and insecurities that are associated with how much money you earn, your finances, your resources, how you earn money, maybe comparing yourself and the money that you have or that you earn and the resources that you have with your friends, because Pluto rules over your 11th house. So this is about no longer letting the concept of money and resources control you in a psychological sense. Obviously, we need money to survive. I'm not talking about it on that material level. It's about what it may have been doing to you on a psychological level. So this can indicate, this transit can indicate that you are generating more wealth and more abundance and prosperity, and finding ways to procure or obtain the resources that you need or that you feel that you need in your life. But some of you may be going through this journey of learning how to accept help, whether this is financial or someone else's resources, like how to receive help and accept these resources from other people, especially because the second house rules over your personal finances and resources, but Pluto rules over mutual resources and finances. So, someone could be trying to help you or assist you, and it could be a case of overcoming potentially pride or the fear of how will other people think of me or perceive me if I accept this into my life. On a different level, the second house rules over anything that you store. So Pluto going through your second house could indicate that you're going through a massive downsizing process, getting rid of clothes, jewelry, possessions, valuables that you no longer need. You could be sharing these. You could just be repurposing them or giving them away. On a different note, Pluto rules over our ancestry, lineage, and inheritance. So you could actually be inheriting money or precious valuables or heirlooms during this period of time. In any case, like I said, the second house is associated with your personal values as well as feelings of worthiness. So you could be basically challenged or forced to face certain insecurities when it comes to feelings of self-worth. And for others of you, you could be going through a period of minimalism, not wanting to live with too many possessions, just having the bare essentials. And also the second house rules over diet. And so for some of you, this could indicate that you are overcoming fears or insecurities or issues with your eating habits, with your diet. And perhaps this is a trigger warning. For some of you, this could be looking at working with healers or psychologists when it comes to eating disorders and finding a way to not let, let's say, your eating disorder control you or run your life. Okay, so this can be a very healing time for you. And now let's have a look at Venus in Capricorn. So Venus will be transiting your first house from the 23rd of January. I keep wanting to say December because it's in December as I'm filming this. So Venus will be transiting Capricorn from the 23rd of January through till the 16th of February. And when Venus goes to our first house, we can feel more attractive, more beautiful. We can receive lots more compliments. We can be very charming and diplomatic and know the right thing to say. You may find that you have admirers, or that there are people who have a crush on you. Venus going through the first house can see you feeling more artistic and more creative, and it can basically indicate that you're with Venus ruling the 5th house for you, which is Taurus, as well as your 10th house, which is Libra. This can indicate that your relationship with your significant other is going well, that there's more flirtations there, more romance, going on more exciting dates. And with it ruling over the 10th house, this can indicate that you are receiving praise from your boss, or from goals that you have achieved, or even just your public image in general could be very favorable during this period of time. So Venus going through your first house can indicate that you're feeling more balanced and more at peace and more content. So that's going to be a very pleasurable transit for you. Okay, so now lastly for the month, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees. And for you Capricorns, this is going to be occurring in your 8th house. So the 8th house is associated with mutual resources, as well as healing, anything to do with the occult or anything esoteric in nature, intimacy, and just one moment, guys. Still recovering with my throat. So full moons indicate the ending of a chapter, or the ending of a cycle taking place, or something coming to light. And the 8th house is all about secrets and things that are hidden, as well as insecurities. So a full moon in the 8th house can indicate that certain fears and insecurities of yours are coming to light, and that you're having to address these. For others of you, this can indicate that you are splitting off certain mutual resources that you share with another person. So maybe you are separating, for example, like your bank account with your ex. On a different note, this can indicate a payout for child support, just because it is at the Leo degree at 5 degrees. For others of you, you could be having or experiencing a very profound reading with some kind of esoteric practitioner or occult practitioner. So this could be an astrology reading, tarot, psychic, Reiki, etc. And for others of you, you could be experiencing deeper intimacy with your significant other. To be fair, you could be discovering a secret around this time, or something that was meant to be kept hidden, or you may feel that you want to divulge information, or something that you have, kept close to your chest. Because this full moon is opposite Pluto in Aquarius in your 2nd house, and it's squaring, as I said that, my candle went out, and it is squaring Jupiter in Taurus, which for you Capricorn is in the 5th house. There could be some tension here. Okay, so it could be a tense time with your significant other. It could be a tense time with your children if you have children, or you may have to make significant changes to your business if you own your own business, which affect your clients or the money that you earned from your business. So thank you, Capricorn. That is all that I have for you for January 2024. My God, I'm still in 2023, guys. Forgive me. Capricorn, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. I am going to move on to Aquarius next. Now, Aquarius, Sun, moon, and risings. Let's have a look at the fact that on the 1st of January, Mercury is going to be stationing direct in Sagittarius in your 11th house at 22 degrees. Many Aquarians will have been reconnecting with friends and people in communities that they haven't spoken to in a long time. You may have attended some kind of reunion with friends or with a group that you used to be part of. The 11th house rules over your long-term goals and dreams for the future. So you could have been revising these and making changes and feeling like, or just deciding that you need to pivot when it comes to what you had initially planned for these long-term projects or these large-scale projects that you have. Mercury's post-shadow period will finish up around the middle of January. So if you've had disagreements with friends, you can be ironing these out by that time. Now, on the 4th of January, Mars is going to enter the sign of Capricorn in your 12th house, and it will be there until the 13th of September. So Mars rules over your 3rd house, which is Aries, as well as your 10th house, which is Scorpio. And the 12th house is very, very hidden. Okay, so you could be finding out secrets about co-workers, about clients, siblings, friends, neighbors, or possibly getting the skinny on what's happening in your workplace. So maybe you have been doing some digging to find out what's planned for the future of your company or your workplace. On a different level, this can see friends sharing secrets with you. The 12th house rules over things like yoga, meditation, healing, spirituality, and it's also one of the creative houses in astrology. So you could be putting your energy and attention into some kind of spiritual or healing practice. Now, on the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn, so also in your 12th house. Your 12th house is very activated this month. So the new moon's in the 12th house on the 11th of January at 20 degrees. It's conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees, and it is trining Uranus in Taurus in your 4th house at 19 degrees. So new moons indicate the start of a new chapter or a new cycle, or we're putting the wheels in motion to get something up off the ground. So for some of you, you could be getting into yoga, getting into meditation. You could be working with some kind of spiritual practitioner. For other people, for other Aquarians, you may be making plans with your family, or that involve your family, or that involve your property and living circumstances, with that trine to Uranus in your 4th house, that you have to keep a secret, that you have to keep hidden, that you feel like you can't tell other people. It's not ready yet. It's premature to let other people know what you're planning. So this could be to start a family. This could be finding out that maybe you're going to become a grandparent. You can't tell other people in the family yet, or you can't announce it. You may be making plans to buy property, sell property, or simply relocate, even if you're not buying or selling. So in any case, the new moon in the 12th house can indicate an interest in spiritual matters, psychology, and some of you may be planning to actually relocate to a foreign country, which is like, in a faraway place. So let's just say this wouldn't be, if you're Australian planning to move to New Zealand, it would be something that's very, very different to what you've grown up with. Now, on the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius. So it's going through your 1st house. Now, Pluto spent a little bit of time in Aquarius already in 2023, and that was between the 23rd of March and the 11th of June. Guys, this is what it's like to be Gemini rising, Virgo moon during Mercury retrograde. So the 23rd of March through to the 11th of June, Pluto was in Aquarius for 11 weeks in your first house. And now as of the 20th of January, it's going back into Aquarius. Okay, so Pluto rules over your 10th house, which represents your public image and your public reputation and how you're showing up in the world. And Pluto is a planet which represents transformation, healing, intimacy, vulnerability, as well as power, manipulation, and control. So Pluto going through your first house can just indicate that on so many different levels, your life is transforming. So this could very much be to do with your physical body and your physical appearance, how you walk, how you talk, how you dress, how you present, how you do your hair, how you do your makeup, how you sound, how you carry yourself. Your aura could be going through a purification process. So you could be paying a lot more attention to, let's call it spiritual hygiene, rebalancing your chakras, making sure everything is in alignment. You could be radiating a more powerful and stronger aura. And this could be because you've done so much shadow work and so much healing. And now this is palpable. This is perceptible. People are able to perceive this in you. This would more so be the case after Pluto conjuncts your sun, moon, or ascendant. Doesn't necessarily have to be. Maybe you are experiencing these changes yourself on an internal level, and maybe you have a vision for how you want to show up in the world, how you want to look, how you want to be, and you're doing the internal work, and then eventually it's going to start showing up in the physical. Pluto going through the first house can see you becoming fixated and obsessed with Plutonian topics, astrology, tarot, anything intuitive, anything to do with esoteric matters or the occult, crime, healing, psychology, hypnotherapy, psychiatry, etc. Maybe you feel like you're able to see through people's lies. Maybe you feel like you have X-ray vision and you can just scan people and read their auras. Maybe you were discovering intuitive and psychic gifts within yourself, or maybe you have these and you're starting to unveil and reveal these and practice these. Your career and your public reputation, as well as your relationship status, could be undergoing a major transformation. You could be changing careers. You could be changing industries. You could be retiring. You could be coming out of retirement, starting your own business. There could be drastic changes to your relationship status. So this could be, getting into a relationship, getting married, getting divorced, and so on and so forth. And you could also be overcoming debilitating fears, insecurities, addictions, and perhaps phobias as well. Pluto going through the first house can indicate that you are experiencing fears and insecurities, or you feel like someone is trying to force you into doing something or oppress you or take control of your life, but that's only so that you can reclaim this power and reclaim that control over your own life and show up as the kind of person that you want to become. So Pluto will be transiting Aquarius in your first house for 21 years. 21 years, yeah, this is like a 2-decade cycle. Pluto will briefly go back into Capricorn around mid to late September through till early November. But in any case, these are the themes some of the themes that you may be experiencing. And if you have already started to see this take place in your life, feel free to leave me a comment section and let me know how you're handling this energy, Aquarius. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter Capricorn in your 12th house. So it's going to be joining Mars, and it will be there until the 16th of February. So wherever Venus goes, it brings harmony and peace to this house and some kind of ease or beneficial energy. So Venus going through the 12th house can see you enjoying yoga, enjoying meditation, feeling more creative, maybe creating poetry or enjoying photography, or maybe you're acting or making a film. Venus in the 12th house can see you feeling very connected to the collective unconscious. And for others of you, you may just be enjoying spa treatment, maybe spending time at a hotel or a bed and breakfast, because the 12th house rules over the hotel industry, as well as anywhere we go that is secluded and enclosed. So that's why it rules over things like day spas. On the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo at 5 degrees in your 7th house. And full moons are all about the ending of a chapter taking place, or the end of some cycle, or perhaps having an epiphany, or things reaching some kind of peak or culmination point. So the 7th house rules over your relationships of all kinds. So these are your personal one-to-one relationships. These can be friendships. These can be, with your business partner or business collaborators, clients, as well as your significant other or your spouse. To be fair, the 7th house also rules over your second born child. So with the full moon occurring in your 7th house, this can indicate that you are actually, first, let me just say the full moon is making a tense opposition to Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, and it's squaring Jupiter in Taurus at 6 degrees. Okay, so this can indicate that you are basically washing your hands of a business partnership or a client, so you're no longer working with them. Maybe the deal has just been complete, or the obligations have been fulfilled. It's the end of a contract. For others of you, you may be like, this isn't working for me. I don't want to work with you anymore, or the arrangement that we have doesn't work anymore. To be fair, you and your business partner could be launching a product or a service during this time. So it doesn't have to be like the end of a relationship. It could just be that a lot of work goes into a project that's now ready for release or for launch. And for others of you, you could be closing an important sale or deal around the 25th of January, which takes a lot of time and energy, and you may be working overtime at home, or this may be indicating that you have to sacrifice family time or time spent relaxing at home in order to fulfill this work obligation or commitment. For others of you, this can indicate that you are maybe having a very important conversation with your significant other. It could be very tense. It could be about family. It could be about your children or your property or living circumstances, or the dynamics of you guys living at home. To be fair, this can indicate the end of a relationship, especially because Leo is at 5 degrees, which rules over your love life and dating life. Or it could be that you're actually taking your relationship to another level, but there may be pressure from your family. Maybe your family don't approve, or perhaps, there's maybe your children or their children from a previous relationship are a little bit about this new connection or this new relationship. In any case, just remember that the square to Jupiter, although it can be quite testing, or it can take a lot out of us, this is still some kind of blessing that is being bestowed on your life in one way or another. So Aquarius, that's all I have for you for January 2024. If you enjoyed this horoscope, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Next, I'm going to do Pisces. And then I'm going to finish off by pulling let's say a word for the month for each sign. So even if you're not a Pisces, still hang around, because I will be doing that. Okay, so Pisces, sun, moon, and risings. On the 1st of January, Mercury is going to be stationing direct in Sagittarius in your 10th house. So the 10th house rules over your career, your boss. It rules over your public image and your public reputation. So Mercury retrograde in the 10th house can indicate that you have been rethinking your career, your workplace. Am I happy here? Do I like my responsibilities or my professional duties? your boss may have gone on leave and now they've come back, or maybe you have had to take on additional responsibilities during the Mercury retrograde period, which, by the way, is from the 13th of December through till the 1st of January. Having said that, the post-shadow period for Mercury retrograde will be until mid-January. So all of this can start to calm down after the middle of the month. For others of you, you could be changing your professional title or your professional status at work. So let's just say if you're sales executive, you may be changing this to sales manager, or perhaps you are letting go of some of your professional responsibilities. For others of you, you could actually be rethinking your relationship status, because Mercury rules over your 7th house. So you could be thinking about, do I want to be with this person? Do I still love them? Do I still want to be married to them or not? For others of you, you could be rethinking like the current status of your relationship. So if you've been with someone for a while, you might be thinking about like whether you want to move in with them or not. And some of you may be discussing it, some of you may not. Some of you may be keeping it to yourself. But with Mercury ruling the 4th house and the 7th house, there is that combination of, considering your relationship with your significant other and your living circumstances, or your significant other and what your family may or may not think, or whether you want to maybe introduce them to your family, and so on and so forth. Next, let's have a look at Mars in Capricorn. So Mars is going to enter Capricorn in your 11th house on the 4th of January, and it will be there until the 13th of February. So wherever Mars goes, this is where we're putting a lot of our energy and effort, and we can be very ambitious about the matters of this house, which is excellent for the 11th house, because the 11th house rules over your long-term goals and dreams. So you may be working really hard on your long-term goals and dreams. You could be working on a long-term project, or one that involves a lot of people. You could be forming or joining a new community. Because Mars rules over arguments and tension and discord, and the 11th house rules over friends, your wider network, as well as older siblings, you could be experiencing tension or maybe arguing with friends or older siblings. Or you could just feel like you don't have the same values as a friendship group that you're part of, or a community that you're part of. Now, on the 11th of January, there will be a new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees in your 11th house, and it will be conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. So this new moon will be occurring in your 11th house, and new moons indicate the start of a new chapter, planting the seeds to see something new, putting the wheels in motion. And this new moon's at 20 degrees, which is the Scorpio degree. So you could be outlining new goals for, let's just say, long-term goals and dreams for your future. And also the 11th house rules over friendships and communities. So you could be looking at forming a new community, or leaving the one that you're in, or preparing to leave the community or a community that you are already part of. You could be working with a group or a community on some kind of social justice issue or fundraising activity. The 11th house is also associated with passive forms of income. So you could be developing or generating a new way to earn income in a passive or residual sense. So like rents, royalty money, etc. So it's like a one-time effort thing, and then it's just ticking along. So this could be like an investment. You could be finding someone to invest in you, or to invest in your long-term goal or project. You could just be making a new friend or new friendship group, which would be really exciting for you guys. And I do really think that that's possible, because the new moon's in your 11th house of friendship, and it's trining Uranus in Taurus, which is in your 3rd house. Sorry. One second, guys. So yeah, some of you could be making new friends, or you could be looking at going into business with friends. Now, on the On the 20th of January, Pluto is going to re-enter the sign of Aquarius in your 12th house. So Pluto was in Aquarius from the 23rd of March through till the 11th of June in 2023. It will spend most of 2024 in your 12th house. However, it will briefly go back into Capricorn around mid to late September through till early November. And then it will be in Aquarius, like full steam ahead for the next 21 years. So this is a very long transit. What I'm about to discuss will be the themes that you are experiencing over the next couple of decades, but you may very well have already started to see these themes crop up in your life, given that we've already had Pluto in Aquarius for a little bit already. So the 12th house is all about spirituality, healing, yoga, meditation. It rules over things like psychics, mediums, angels, spirit guides, past lives, but it's also a deeply creative house as well. So it's associated with creative writing, poetry, music, anything artistic, film, photography, etc. The 12th house is also associated with not having boundaries, a victim mindset, martyrdom, self-sabotage, self-betrayal, self-abandonment, and feelings of isolation, if not actual isolation, as well as far and far away places. So these themes could have already have been experienced by you maybe earlier in 2023. And ultimately, Pluto is a planet which represents fears, insecurities, secrets, shame, control, power, manipulation on the negative side. But then on the positive side, it rules over transformation, rebirth, healing. It rules over intimacy, shared mutual resources. And so once we work through the shadow side, we can experience the positive benefits of the energy of Pluto. And don't forget that the 12th house is associated with fears and insecurities as well, and phobias, but sometimes these can be ones that we're not even consciously aware of. So Pluto going through your 12th house can indicate that you are facing fears, facing insecurities, and just having to acknowledge the ways in which you have been falling prey to a victim mindset, okay? Or maybe sacrificing yourself too much for other people to the point that you've abandoned your own self-interests in the name of altruism, but this has been negatively impacting you, and perhaps there's been resentment that's been building up because of this. For others of you, you'll get involved with yoga, meditation, and let's say spirituality, which heals you and transforms you from the inside out on a deep and profound level. You may find that doing, let's say, creating art or music is healing for you, and that it's healing for the soul in some way. You may come across works of art or writing or poetry or music which heals you or has a profoundly transformative impact on you. For others of you, Pluto in the 12th house can indicate you are discovering your own intuitive and psychic gifts. You may experience dreams which bring up a lot of fears and insecurities, but which have healing messages underneath it all. You may be seeing psychics or mediums or discovering your own psychic or mediumship abilities and gifts. In any case, Pluto going through the 12th house will make you face your fears, as well as any potential substance or issues or addictions that you may have. Now, on the 23rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Capricorn. So it will be transiting your 11th house from the 23rd of January through till the 16th of February. So it's joining Mars in your 11th house. So Venus likes to be in the 11th house because this indicates getting along better with friends, with people in your wider network, meeting acquaintance or new acquaintances, making new acquaintances, I should say. So you could be socializing with friends more. You could be hearing from your friends who are inviting you to events or parties or something of this nature. This can indicate maybe selling something online and earning money from these sales. So this could be like a passive form of income for you. This could indicate that you're receiving some kind of award or acknowledgement for a career-related project or maybe something creative in nature. This could also indicate flirting with a friend or flirting with a friend of a friend, or meeting a romantic interest at a group event or through friends. Now, on the 25th of January, there will be a full moon in Leo, and this will be taking place in your 6th house at 5 degrees. The full moon in Leo will oppose Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius in your 12th house, and it will also square Jupiter in Taurus at 6 degrees in your 3rd house. So the 6th house rules over work, daily habits, routines. It rules over health as well, and like your exercise and health regime. So full moons are about the ending of a chapter or the ending of a cycle taking place, or perhaps it's in some cases it can be about a situation being illuminated or coming to light. So some of you Pisceans may be finishing up some kind of work project, or you could be meeting a deadline. This could be a creative deadline, as in a deadline for a creative project of yours. This can indicate discovering the root cause of some kind of health issue or health ailment. For others of you, this could be concluding some kind of treatment for a health problem that you have been experiencing. And with the 6th house ruling over habits and routines, this can indicate that you are eliminating some kind of perceived vice or bad habit or routine, especially because the full moon is at at 5 degrees, which is the Leo degree. This could be something to do with gambling or excessive risk taking, or perhaps this could be to do with your sex life and perhaps unhealthy sexual practices. On a different note, because 5 degrees is the Leo degree, which rules over owning your own business. If you own your own business, maybe you are launching a project or a product or a service, and you could be burning the candle at both ends around this time. So Pisces, that's all I have for you for your January 2024 horoscopes. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And now I'm going to take a card for each of the 12 signs. So this will be your word, let's say, of the year. Okay, so let's start off with Aries. Aries, this is your word for the year. Oh, you got 2. The first one is faith. Okay, that's your first word, Aries. And the second word is bloom. Okay, so now I'm going to take a card for Taurus. So Taurus, this will be your word for the year. And this is, for your sun, moon, or rising, guys. Taurus, acceptance. And now let's look at a word for the year for Gemini. Oh, you got 2. Heal and creator. And now let's do Cancer. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I didn't shuffle that properly. And like 4 cards fell out. All right, so this is for Cancer, sun, moon, and risings. This is your word of the year. You got boundaries. Okay, so maybe you have to set some boundaries, Cancer. This is for Leo, word of the year. Transformation. Yeah, that's a huge one for Leos. This is for Virgo, sun, moon, and risings, word of the year. lessons. So maybe you'll be learning something new, Virgo. Maybe you'll be teaching. Maybe you just have to accept important life lessons. This is for Libra. Rise. Libra, it's time to rise up. It's time to speak your truth. This is for Scorpio, your word of the year. Instincts. Trust your instincts on something, Scorpio, or just in general, trust your instincts. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising's word of the year. Oops. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Your card doesn't want to come. Yes, it does. You also got acceptance. I can't remember who else got acceptance, but obviously you're seeing me shuffle. This is for Capricorn. This is your word of the year, Capricorn. You got 2. So we've got newness, Capricorn, and held. This is for Aquarius. This is your word for 2024. Divine. Okay, and last but not least, this is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Risings. Word of the year for 2024, Pisces, wildly capable. And if you enjoyed this random edition, this random segment, let me know. Wishing you all a very prosperous and blessed 2024, and of course January, and I will see you in my February horoscopes. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have an amazing month ahead.